Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for another installment of Jamming with Jatan, my beautiful wife, Jatan. Yesterday, we did an edition where we showed people how to do water-based canning. We did pressure canning. Today, we're going to show people how to do water-based canning, and we thought it would be important because a lot of people have asked about how to do jams, how to do jellies, preserves, things of that nature. So if you're into doing jams, jellies, and preserves, then you definitely want to tune in to this installment. Okay, so without further ado, here's my beautiful wife, Jatan. So Jatan, show us how you made those beautiful jams and jellies or whatever they are.
Okay, sure. Okay, so if you look over here.
Hey, Candace. And by the way, folks, what's going on, Candace? What's going on, cuz? How you doing, cuz? Good to see you. And by the way, if you guys have any questions, make sure that you ask, and my wife will make sure to answer those questions. So as you see right here, we have some strawberry.
Yeah, this is strawberry jam that I've already prepared and put in my mason jars.
Okay.
So we're just gonna be adding the lids, which as you can see here, they're already been prepared. They're being sterilized, so they're ready to go. So just to kind of give you a little bit of a recap on how we got to this process or how we got here, I took some strawberries, and I took about a pack of strawberries, and it was really something on a whim that I was doing. But I took a pack of strawberries, and I took my strawberries, cut off the stems and the leaves, washed them, and then I sliced them up and, sliced them up into sections. If you look in here, you can kind of see the jam here.
Okay.
So I took my strawberries and I sliced them, prepared them, and then what I did was, I boiled them down, added my sugar, and then I added something called pectin. Pectin is what helps to thicken your jams. Now, because I did have just one singular pack of strawberries, I didn't use quite as much sugar.
And real quick, I know this is so ghetto for me to do this, because tell Cedric to get inbox me Cedric's number. I've been trying to get in contact with Cedric for months, and every number I have of his is disconnected. So inbox me his number if you don't mind, cuz. But anyway, back to what you were saying.
Yeah. So basically, guys. So all I did was, I put my, washed and cut up strawberries in a sauce pot.
Mm-hmm.
I put it about medium high heat, and then I added my sugar. Got my strawberries boiling. I added the pectin, which is a thickener.
How much sugar and how much pectin?
It kind of really depends on the person. I think because some people don't like jams really sweet. So I added about 1.5 cups of sugar, because this was a pretty small batch of strawberries that I was working with. So I only used 1.5 cups. I've seen recipes where if you're working with pounds of strawberry, then you can I've seen recipes where it's up to about 7 cups of sugar. But again, you're working with big, poundage of strawberries. This was just a singular carton. So I just used about 1.5 cups of sugar. And then what I also did to kind of cut through the sweetness, I added some lemon juice, which is also really, really good when you're working with berries, especially. It kind of adds a little bit of zing to that sweetness, so it kind of balances that off, so you're not getting that sweet. Mm-hmm. So after that, I let my stuff simmer.
Okay.
Or actually, I let it come to a boil. So you want to actually give it like a hard boil. You want to boil it for about 5 to 6 minutes.
Okay. Take
it off the heat, and then afterwards, you want to add it to your jars. Now, I will say this: I was a little bit concerned because I only. Again, this was an on the whim thing, and I only bought.
Thank you, cuz.
I only have purchased like one package.
Can you lift one up and show them?
It's pretty hot, so yes. Let me grab my tongs and I'll show it to them.
Okay.
So I only purchased like one box of pectin.
Okay.
So at first I was concerned about it starting to gel. So this is what my jams are looking like. Can you guys see that? Well, that's my strawberry jam. See?
Okay.
So these are, and I've made 4 of these. These are, I think these are about, I think these might be half pints. Don't quote me on that. I'll have to look. But I made about 4 of them. Initially, I'd been concerned because I only had the 1 pack of the pectin. But when I went to
Thanks, cuz, by the way. Thank you.
When I went to do some a little bit of research on what I could do to kind of remedy my jams if I felt that it wasn't thickening up enough. So some things you could do, you can either go out back to the store and add some more pectin, or you can add stuff like chia seeds, which we happen to have some chia seeds on hand. So I added chia seeds. Chia seeds also work really good for thickening, like a thickening agent. Okay. And as you can see, these are my chia seeds.
Does it have pectin in it or something, or what?
It doesn't have pectin, but chia seeds just naturally have they have a little bit of a nutty, like a crunch to them. Okay. But also when they are put into any type of liquid or moisture, they just naturally start to thicken that liquid because they start to soften, and then they have like this little jelly-like consistency, and they thicken whatever liquid that they're in. So chia seeds were great for that. Okay. Also, guys, this works really good in oatmeal. Really good.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, really so it's really healthy. It's good for you. So once I got my jam to about the consistency, can you guys see that? And this is still warm. So as this cools down, it's gonna get even thicker.
So what's the difference between that and jelly?
Jelly has less fruit. And jelly, a lot of jellies actually don't have any fruit in it at all. It's probably like maybe like artificial fruit, artificial fruit juice. Or I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off because we don't want this getting too hot.
And this is the water-based canner, by the way.
This is a water canner, yes. So today we're gonna be doing a water canner. Yesterday or the other day when I was on with you guys, we did pressure canning. And as you can see, remember when we were doing the pears and I told you guys I was going to be canning string beans? So this is the product that
this is what happened from the other day that what you guys didn't see. She used the pressure canner. Mm-hmm. So you guys see, you got some string beans here.
We have some nice, beautiful green beans.
They look beautiful.
See, gorgeous green beans. These are the pears. Remember how I was saying that the pears? So these are our gorgeous pears. I actually bought a new bag of pears, so I'm going to be doing some more pears. But these I prepared. These were done in my pressure canner. So these were done in here. Pears are considered a low acidity fruit, so therefore I had to do these in the pressure canner. However, and then these are also beans. See, so you can even do beans. Remember I was saying like you can also do meats and beans and other type of products in your pressure canner.
Okay.
So it's really good to have because you can do so much with it. But when it comes to jams, jellies, preserves, and you're working with things like berries or high acidic fruits, it is safe to go ahead and do it in a water canner. A water bath is much more simplistic.
So question for the people who may be wondering, why would you put and if you guys have any questions, ask in the comment section. Why would you put strawberries, for example, in a water canner and not put them in a pressure canner? Like, what's the difference?
Well, because the acidity level in strawberries is high enough where a water bath canner would be suffice.
Okay.
So that you wouldn't be in the danger of having the food botulism that you would if it was like a low acidity fruit. So because strawberries are acidic and they have enough acid in them or citric acid in there to stave off botulism, is perfectly okay. As most berries are kind of on the acidic side, so it's perfectly okay to water bath your jams and jellies. Typically, most recipes you're gonna.
What about grapes?
Grapes. I don't know, that one. You would have to see like how really to go about preparing grapes. Grapes are a really, really soft fruit, so I mean I'm sure there's grape preserves or grape jelly, so it must exist. I will try to find that for you guys and let you know what I come up with. But today we're going to be working with strawberries, so I'm going to go ahead and complete this process. So like I said, I have my 4 prepared jars of strawberry jam here. So this is our strawberry jam with our chia seeds in there. So that's going to be really yummy and healthy.
Can we do a live taste test? Can I taste some of it real quick?
Sure.
And I'm going to give you guys my honest opinion.
Okay.
You guys are going to see live the expression on my face. I'm not going to bull crap just because it's my wife.
Don't burn your tongue. That expression will be live as well.
Yeah, that would suck. Let me see.
Please blow it.
I'm going to get some of this. Let me see. I'm going to let you know how it tastes, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Y'all see that? Okay, let's see how it tastes. Let me see. Oh my God. That is really good. Man, let me get some more. Oh my God. What do old black people say in the church?
They say stop making a mess on my
stove.
If
you can't say a word, you just wave your hand. Yeah, I know I'm dropping it on your stove.
Super deep, you guys.
Jesus
Super duper deep.
I don't have to say nothing else the whole time. That one was good.
So we're gonna go ahead.
What
and
up, Frat? What up,
on.
Henry Arthur Callis? Henry Arthur Callis is in the building.
So
that's what I'm talking about. How you doing, Frat?
Sterilize your lids before you put them on, right? So we've got our clean jars. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add this.
So she's showing you guys the proper technique to put the
lids. This is the actual lids with the sealant on it.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna put that on your
and this, as she said the other day, is magnetized, correct?
Correct. This is your grabber tool. It has a magnet on the end.
Okay.
So that way you can just pick up your lids out of that hot water without burning yourself, and you can grab it and put that right onto your jar.
Okay.
So, and the purpose for putting them in the hot water is to sanitize and sterilize your lids.
And again, folks, this is just a way for you guys during this time to figure out ways to stretch your budget, find other ways to save money.
Just to prepare.
Prepare for, food. In case we do have a food crisis.
Apocalypse.
In case we have something like that. The good Lord gave us that gift, and thank God we're able to exercise. How's it going, Apostle Armando? Good seeing you. Good seeing you, Chanel, and there's a couple other people on.
Hi, guys.
God bless you guys. You guys have any questions, ask away. Today we're canning strawberry preserves.
Yes, if you want to know what I'm doing right now, I'm just kind of making sure my lids line up okay on here. Mm-hmm. These are standard size lids. You have
why don't you lift it up, baby, so they can see it, so they can see your beautiful face and see that at the same time.
So this is like I said, I have to see what size this is. I think it's a half a pint, but I could be wrong. But this is see the top of this opening? Yeah. This is a standard size mouth opening. So when you go in and you buy your lids, lids come in standard and they come in wide mouth. Okay. So I do have some wide mouths, but I need to get wide mouth mason jars for those.
So what are you gonna do now? Like with this water-based counter, what's going to happen now?
You're going to fill that up with your water, which I'm going to show you after I get my bands on.
You can't use that one, can we?
That one's got to go back in the hot liquid.
You got to re-sanitize that one?
Yeah, it's got to chill in there for a little bit.
Okay.
But that's, something like that happens, it's no worries. Just, put it back in your hot liquid.
Showing you guys step by step.
Just put that back in there. And then
now, is this like the most important part or what?
It is, only because you want to make sure that your lids. Can you see that, guys? Can you see that? So you want to make sure that your bands. You want to do them finger tight and not like, you don't want to basically put it on with all your might. Basically, you just put it on there finger tight. Okay, about like that. Okay, you don't have to like really wring it.
Okay.
So it's really hot, and just like I said, maintain. Don't burn yourself. These jars are still on the hot side.
Okay.
And get our last guy that took a leap off and onto the floor here.
So the next, the important part is going to come next, folks.
Correct, which is to go ahead and
if you get a chance, folks, like and share. Some other people may want to know how to can some preserves, some strawberry.
And this, you guys, this was something that I was always interested in. I always wanted to learn how to, because I like doing house and home things. So I was always curious as to how I would be able to make homemade jams, homemade preserves. So this is, I just looked it up actually and took an interest in it and figured out the tools that I would need in order to do it, and there it is. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead, we're going to take our jars, right? And because they're still hot, you always want to use your tool so that way you don't burn yourself. So you want to do this. See how I'm grabbing it here? Grip it with a nice firm grip so you don't drop it. That won't be good. And then you put that in here. See how I'm loading these in here? Put these down in here. And I'm showing you guys this empty only because that way I can show you guys how I'm going to be putting the water inside. Typically, when you do water bath canning, you want to fill for this type of process, you want to make sure your water is up above the head of your jars.
Okay.
Now, when you do pressure canning, you don't have to do that. You just add your 2 to 3 quarts of water, which I do 3 quarts. And just make sure, because that's going to be under. Steam is what's actually doing the pressure.
So before we go into that, they may have this question.
Okay.
If they're like me, how did you get the strawberries to do that in the first place? Like, what did you get to make the strawberries look like that?
To get them thick?
Yeah, like to jam them up, if you will.
I use pectin.
Pectin. So you just boil them in water and then they just naturally cook on their own, is what you're saying?
Well, what I did was I cooked them, but then afterwards what I started to do was I added my pectin.
Okay.
Pectin is the ingredient that is used to thicken up jams and jellies.
Okay, pectin. Pectin is used to thicken up jams and jellies.
Correct.
And so right now,
I'm just adding my water to my bath.
And how much water do you put in there?
You want to put it up about at least about 1 inch to 2 inches above the head of your jars. You want them under the water.
So you want these jars right here to be underwater.
You want them underwater, yes.
And once you light the fire, how long will the fire be lit under here?
So these, once you put your lid on, it's boiling. You want to cook them for about 10 to 12 minutes and then take it off. You're going to leave them in there.
Go ahead.
You're going to leave them
I know Demetra knows what's going on because Aunt Gotti did this all the time. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, you're going to boil this about 10 to 12 minutes. Turn your heat off. Let it cool down on its own for like an additional 5 minutes. And then you take your jars out and then just sit them down, let them cool. Okay. And then that's that.
And then, do you guys have any questions? Now I know what it inevitably come up is once you make it into a preserve, how long will it last? Like, what's the expiration?
Yeah, that's a good question because most people want to know. The great thing about canning foods is the fact that it lasts for such a long time. What I looked up about the shelf life of this is about 1 to 2 years.
1 to 2 years. So think about that, folks. You can your jams, your jellies, and it will last up to 1 to 2 years. That's amazing.
Yep.
That is
That's
amazing.
why canning is like so great, and why this is like such a good thing to do. Learning how to preserve foods, learning how to, you know, build up a pantry and a stockpile, because like I said, we don't know what's coming down the road. You know, this is a really, really good way to and also too, for you, like women who have kids and things like that, you know, we're always talking about health and what's being put in the food and this and that. This is another great way to kind of control, like, how much sugar. Like, you know, your kids, they want jelly, you know, this, that, they like jam and stuff like that. Well, this is like a really good way to like control how much sugar. I'm going to do a little bit more water. How much sugar goes in the jelly that you're going to give them. If you do it yourself, you get to determine how much sugar you want in there. You also get to determine what type of sugar you want to use in there. So that's also what's really good. You can also, I've seen mason jars come in small, really small. They're really, really cute jars. It's so easy even to make like little, jars of baby food. So, and I just thought about that, you know, we haven't been blessed yet to have children, but, you know, when the time comes, you know, I would love to be able to make my own baby food, which, I mean, it's just simple. You just, you know, boil the vegetables, you puree it, season it lightly,
Save a lot of money.
And yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, why buy your stuff from Gerber when you can do it yourself? You know what I'm saying? And then you know exactly what went into your baby's food. So you do it yourself. You want your baby to eat organic? Why spend a whole bunch of money on organic baby food? You do the organic. You be the organic and make it yourself. Jar it up, can it. You make a whole bunch of it. Think about how many jars. I'm going to move this over to my front burner here.
Okay.
So that way I can keep a better eye.
So now what's going on now for the folks maybe wondering what's the next step?
So now our next step is just to put our fire on. So now that we are underwater, we have our little bath here. See our guys down in the bath? See, they're all down in the bath. So now this is going to heat up. When it starts boiling, we're going to cover this and we're going to boil this for 10 to 12 minutes. Shut our heat off. Let them sit in there for another 5 minutes, additional 5 minutes, take them out, and let them chill right here until they come all the way down and they cool off. And that's going to be our strawberry jam, and then you have it. And you have 1 to 2 years of shelf life.
So question, now, when you did the pressure canning, once you took it out, the top of the lids couldn't pop. Is that the same situation with the water-based canning?
With a water canner, it's again, as the jar cools off, sometimes you'll hear that ping. Now I have had it happen while it was inside in here, for whatever reason, like it did it while it was in there. But most of the time when you take them out of the heat source and your jars are cooling over here on the countertop or wherever you sat them at, you'll hear them ping. You can hear it.
No, what does that mean?
It means that it's not only been pressurized, but now the seal has locked it. So that's what's going to prevent anything else from getting into that jar.
Gotcha.
That means that thing is airtight.
Gotcha. And as you said, it's nothing, as you guys see, is smoking right there. You guys have any other questions? You guys have any questions concerning water-based canning? Canning, specifically jams and jellies, things of that nature.
I forgot I spilled jam in there. Sorry, you guys.
We spilled a little jam in there, so that's why it's smoking. So we got to put it on the back burner.
Yeah, so I can.
So sorry about that.
Sorry, guys.
But while she's doing that, let me show you guys what was made yesterday. Once again, with the pressure canner, you see these beautiful green beans. They were canned. Beautiful. Also, if you notice, she labeled it. We don't have labels as of yet. That's 4/13 of 20. You guys gotta excuse us. Some of that jelly got down in the oven, so now it's making the fire alarm go off. Well, it's all good. We got pears right here. Beautiful pears. she just manually labeled it 4, 12, 20 to just give us a ideal of, when she did it, whatnot. You got some artichokes. These artichokes were actually done last month, and that's 3/24/20. So she canned those as well. And we got some peas. That's the only thing that she has not labeled yet. And she preserved these peas up. What kind of beans are these? These are red beans, huh?
Those are pintos.
These are pintos? What?
Yeah. Those are actually
I gotta say, man, we can't be preserving them no red beans. Red beans and rice.
So here's another bowl. I'm gonna also do a preservation on these two. Can't be
preserving no red beans and rice, cuz.
Oh God, really? So
that's rich.
We're gonna also I'm gonna also be pressure cooking these a little bit later. So those are really easy, a really quick way to do beans. Like if you're gonna do raw beans.
Jesus Christ, I'm still dropping stuff on it. That's why the husband not allowed in the kitchen right there.
Well, I'm over here setting off the fire alarm, so bear with me, you guys. But anyways, what I did to get to this step right here, what I did was I took my beans and I boiled these hard. Did a hard boil in these 5 minutes. Then I let it soak for about an hour, and then I drained the water off. Refilled it up again, and then I boiled them for another 30 minutes. And then at that point, I prepared all my stuff. And then I added my hot boiling water with my beans to my jar, stuck it in my pressure canner, and I pressure canned this at 11 pounds PSI for about 90 minutes. So
that was it.
Yeah, so just
and if you want to know more about pressure canning, go on my page and look at that video, and she explains it there about with pressure canning. The biggest difference is you don't actually start your count until you get to your PSI. So, for example, it may take 20 minutes to even get to 11 PSI. At the time that it shows the 11 PSI on the temperature gauge, that's the point that you start counting the time in which all the pressure will be out of the bottle. And it will basically, the food will be cooked inside of the bottle, and we be pressure sealed.
Correct.
Once it gets to that number, right? Up until then, you got a hot mess on your hands. Yeah. You want to let it cook until it gets to your number on your PSI.
Correct.
Water bath canning, what she's doing right now.
You don't have to deal with.
You don't have to deal with that.
What you're going to be looking at is just times. So the key things with your water bath canning is just to make sure that you never sit your jars in any canner, period. Whether it's a pressure cooker or whether it's a water bath, never ever put your cans just bare without a rack. You always want to have a rack in there because the rack is what allows for the cans to be lifted off of the surface of the canner at the bottom. You don't ever want your jars to be sitting flat on the bottom.
Why? What'll happen?
You'll crack them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you'll crack them, and then you'll have glass all over the place, and you will have ruined and wasted money on food and beautiful things that you put in a jar.
So in a water-based canner, always have a rack and always have your bottles sitting on a rack.
Correct. Even with your pressure canner, you want to use the plate, the rack that comes on the bottom of it. You also want to make sure that you have that as well. Never ever sit any jars in any type of canner flat on the bottom without using the rack that comes with the canner. In this case, unlike a pressure canner requires that you use a gauge, a pressure gauge. You have a regulator, and then you also have an indicator. This is a lot more simpler because you're just using a basic like a kettle, water kettle. And you're just going to time your food as opposed to using a pressure gauger because you're not working with pressure. So you don't need any of those mechanisms. You're just working with time. So all you need to know is just, you can always look it up for whatever it is that you want to water bath. So long as it's safe to water bath that product, all you're going to do is just look up, okay, how many minutes do I cook this particular product in a water bath? And you'll be able to find that. This is going to be 10 to 12 minutes.
And again, real quick, the reason she made that point that it's, you look it up to see if it's safe to water bath, is because some foods are better off being pressure cooked because of botulism. Look up botulism when you get a chance.
It's uncool.
It's not cool. You could die from botulism.
That would be uncool.
That would be very uncool. So yeah, look up botulism when you guys get a chance. And so when you go to can, make sure that your food is, that you use the proper canning method for your food, whether it be pressure cooking and or water cooking.
Correct.
High acidic foods
are okay to
water bath because they have so much acidity that botulism cannot live inside of the jar. All right.
Correct.
But like low acidic foods, you need to have them pressure cooked.
Correct.
Because botulism can live in those environments. And if you, for example, you take something like green beans and you don't pressure cook it, you do a water-based cooking, since it's a low acidic food, it can increase your chances of getting botulism. Correct. And if you eat that food, it could potentially kill you. So
and that would be uncool.
That would not be cool at all. We want you to live. I want to live.
You shall live and not die.
You shall live and not die. So that's why it's important to know the foods that you're cooking or canning. And the reason we bring that up, and we'll say this, and we'll let you guys go, is because just the other day we went. Well, actually, when we was in LA, we bought a whole bunch of food at the farmers market. It was just a lot of stuff. Beautiful carrots and everything, right? And we were like, yo, man, we just ready to do it or whatever. Man, we had to throw away half that stuff. How much money did we probably waste?
Oh, I don't even want to think about it.
We probably wasted at least $50. It had to be $50-$60 because we used the wrong method of canning, because we had like a lot of carrots, we had a whole bunch of stuff. And so, out of ignorance, you're like, oh, okay, we're just gonna water-based can them or whatever. And stuff was bad. And then when we in Texas for a number of days, and it was in our car for like a week. All bad stuff. And so by the time we opened that stuff up, that stuff was like bubbling.
It was bubbling.
It was like literally bubbling, folks.
Without being on the stove.
Being on the stove.
It's not good.
Yeah. We was like, okay, this not good. Now the cheapskate in me was like, man, it'll be all right. We try this.
You want to sleep with dirt now.
Like, I love my mom. She just passed away, but I'm not ready to see her right now. You know what I'm saying? And if I would have ate that, I definitely would have been going on with the Lord. So, but that's why, all jokes aside, that's why it's important to know what canning method to use and err on the side of caution. If it's low acidity, pressure can. Like, I would even go as far as say, just to be on the safe side, just pressure can it. If you don't know, pressure can it, just to be on the safe side. But if just realize if it's low pressure cooking, use low acid cooking, use a water-based counter, no pressure counter.
And you can look that up. You can always find out whether or not something is low acidic or what acidic foods versus high acidic fruits and vegetables or meats. Bet that you're going to need to pressure can.
I know my is on this joint. I know she know how to can some stuff.
Yeah, meats in a water bath ever. There's no way that thing is going to be hot enough to kill anything in there. So meats, you automatically know that's
pressure cooking.
Absolutely. And also too, because jams and jellies are more, it's more of a delicate thing.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to put that in pressure. Explode your, it's just not good. Because jams also boil at a high temperature also too. And so the likelihood of you shattering your glass if you try to do a pressure cooker on this is really likely that you'll shatter your glass. So it's just safer for jams and jellies as a rule of thumb to do a water bath. Because acidity is definitely high.
Bachelors won't live in it.
No, it's fine to do a water bath.
Okay. So
I'm tearing this jam up. It's really good.
that jam is off the hook. I'm not even gonna lie. Hey Chanel, you gotta have some of this jam. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Chanel.
Hey Chanel. But anyway, we love you guys. We hope we were able to answer some questions. I'm gonna give it 20 more seconds. Anybody have any questions that they want to throw out here real quick? About anything?
Anybody, anything, anybody, anywhere.
No questions. Thank you so much. God bless you guys. Thank you for the support.
I hope you guys make some so I can come to your house and eat.
Yes, make some so we can come to your house and eat. Mm-hmm. God bless you.
Bless you.
Peace.